Okay, I'm back. I'm going to make this video for all you targeted individuals because all I can do is just present my argument. It's sad, but when you're being targeted almost to where you're gonna they have you in fear you're gonna die, then you have to lead this for the U.S. Supreme Court because I have a pending Supreme Court case. It's George Andrew Benavides versus the William Barr, case number 19-1289. There was a rehearing requested on October 5th, and it's now on the courts. But I'm making this video to let the judges know who are hearing my case because we don't have a defense against satellite weapons. We don't have a defense. We don't have nowhere to hide to defend ourselves, protect ourselves under the Constitution. They, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, Department of Justice, the U.S. Navy, DOD, all those people out there that the intelligence have the potential to hire your neighbors to attack you. That's the bottom line. And you can't fight back because you don't have a capability of launching a satellite back in space and defending yourselves. They have the mechanisms to attack you, to manipulate your mind, to manipulate your body, coerce you to commit duress, which is an outcome of what you don't want to do. So I don't have COVID-19, thank God. The time is now 8:41 p.m. on October 25th, 2020. And this video is pertaining to targeted individuals. And I've been a targeted individual for almost 25 years now. And I've accumulated all the evidence since 25 years. When I left the United States Marine Corps back in 1998, honorably discharged from the Marine Corps, I began, it was in that point in time, I was a targeted individual. They didn't like what they did. They implanted me, they're tracking me, and they're torturing me. And they didn't like what I did. They didn't like that I rebelled against the U.S. Navy. And it's only right because that's why we have the Whistleblowers Act. The Whistleblowers Act is to blow the whistle on government experiments, such as Ancient Orange, such as the Tuskegee Airmen who were injected with syphilis by the government, ASTD, who President Trump promoted a black general who was injected with a syphilis, with STD, okay? So we have laws to protect Americans from being experimented on in government, and I've been experimented by the U.S. Navy, and the FBI neglects to investigate it. So anyway, I'm going to continue on here. I have a U.S. Supreme Court case that's waiting to be heard. Okay. Then I have a book here that's being suppressed by the U.S. by the FBI. It's called The 1994 Hack Mind. There it is, right there. George A. Benavides, United States veteran of the United States Marines from 1994 to this present time. You can get it on Amazon if you can. It's true facts, man. It's got the Department of Justice in there. It's got the Department of Justice. It's got all the information that I've investigated for 25 years. Okay. This book it was submitted to the U.S. Supreme Court for them to review and observe. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline. For all you targeted individuals, there is hope. Okay, don't feel bad. There is hope, and behind the curtain, behind the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, there are people investigating this. It happened in 1970 with Senator Frank Church and the Church Committee. And don't get yourself wrong. There is people investigating this case behind the curtain. Don't ever underestimate yourself. Now, let's start with a timeline, okay? Back in, I don't know if you recall, back in 2001, okay? It was during the time that George W. Bush was a president. There was a U.S. congressman by the name of Dennis Kucinich, okay? Dennis Kucinich wrote the Space Preservation Act. Okay, and that Space Preservation Act was written by Dennis Kucinich, the congressman from Ohio, to protect the American citizens. Okay, because Dennis Kucinich knew something was going on. Okay, he knew that something was going on and something was about to happen. He wouldn't have written this bill for Americans, for Congress people to pass this act. So, House Rule 2977, Space Preservation Act of 2001, was written by Dennis Kucinich to be passed by the legislative body, by Congress, by Senate, And it was to ban space weapons or experiments on American citizens, But it didn't get passed. Why didn't it get passed? Was it because that the fellow congressmen, fellow senators were a part of the Ponzi scheme of investment and moving money in the stock markets to kill Americans because they wanted to track more people, sounded like me, like they're doing to me, to implant, track, and torture more people. And the reason why they didn't want to stop this is for that reason, that they were paving the roads for the tech giants such as Google, Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, all those tech giants that come in and create these smartphones to track and torture and kill Americans. There's a question that have to be answered. Why would you create a weapon to track, torture, and harm Americans at the expense of the taxpayers? Because there's nothing worse than tracking and killing your own people under the Constitution is treason. And we're going to discuss that later. So we know for a fact that the Congressman Dennis Kucinich from Ohio was voted in by the people from Ohio. And he was voted in to write this bill to protect Americans in 2001, precisely on October 2nd, 2001. He wrote House Rule 2977 in the 107th Congress in 2001 to protect the American people. Now, since that point in time, a lot of things have transpired. You had George W. Bush. Now you had Bill Clinton, and then you had President Barack Obama, and now you have Donald Trump. But during President Barack Obama and during George W. Bush, you had people create coalitions. Okay? So if you have a congressman, then you have coalitions such as www.targetedjustice.com, www.pax International. Let me stand corrected. It's www.paxinternational.org. That's www.paxntl.org. And you have ICAACT.org. Okay, ICAACT. Okay, .org. Which stands for International Center Against Abuse and Covert Technologies. Okay? And you have people that sit on these boards. These coalitions were created under the watch of President Barack Obama. And the people that sit on these boards are not idiots, folks. These people are educated individuals. One in particular that I want to talk about is Dr. John Hall. Dr. John Hall is from right here from San Antonio, where I was from San Antonio. He is Dr. John Hall is an anesthesiologist. For all you who don't know anesthesiologists, it's a pain doctor. He turns off and turns on the pain, or turns off the pain while you're under surgery, while you're having surgery, or while you're having some kind of operation or some sort, or you're having some kind of procedure done. He turns off the pain. He's a pain doctor. He knows about pain. So Dr. John Hall sit on this board here, and then I want to talk about another organization. It's StopTheCrime.net. Okay, StopTheCrime.net is run by a lady by the name of Deborah Tovares. Deborah Tovares is a well-educated woman in targeted individuals. Okay, her website, and I'm going to give it to you right now for all the people who are Hispanics who are being targeted. You can go to www.stopthecrime.net. Get a hold of Debbie Tovares. She's a very educated individual on targeted individuals. Okay? So I've given you coalitions. I've given you coalitions of Americans who know for a fact that we are being targeted, tracked, and tortured by satellite weapons, electronic harassment operated by our own government and by our neighbors that we live around. They're given carte blanche access to America's war chest, which is a crime because they're not a federal agency, and they're given this access to use Americans' war chest weapons to attack fellow neighbors, which is a crime. Okay? We're going to talk about that later because there's laws that pertain to that. So you have coalitions, you have a congressman trying to write this bill, okay? And then you have whistleblowers. Okay? You have whistleblowers by the name of Dr. Robert Duncan. Dr. Robert Duncan is an ex-CIA operative, Central Intelligence Agency operative. Okay? They're big intelligence agency gurus. They know a lot about the United States of America. Dr. Robert Duncan has a book called he's got a book called Taming a Demon. Okay? He's got a book called Taming a Demon. He used to work for DARPA, which is another agency that deals with a whole different aspect of the animal that we're going to cover later on. DARPA, they deal with the weather and technology and manipulating the weather. Big agency that needs to be investigated as well. But Dr. Robert Duncan is a CIA whistleblower. You can find him on YouTube. He's got a lot of videos on YouTube. Then I want to talk about Karen Milton Stewart. Karen Milton Stewart is an NSA operative, National Security Agency. Okay, she used to work for the NSA, and she blew the whistle on all this. And you can find her you can Google her on the internet, and you'll find her. She's on Facebook as well. She's also on Twitter. And then you can also find Kirk Wiebe and William Benny, who are also NSA whistleblowers. Okay, find them on YouTube. Another one is going to be Richard Lighthouse at www.richardlighthouse.com. Find him on the internet. Now, let's go back again. Now you have a U.S. congressman who wrote the Space Preservation Act. You have coalitions, and now you have federal whistleblowers who say that Americans are being tortured. Okay? Now, if you have all this information and you submit it to the FBI, the CIA, the DOD, the U.S. Marshals, the President, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, all these people who want to run for office, who want to serve the American people, but yet don't go and investigate this, there's a problem here, folks. Especially the ones who have served in Congress for over 45 years. It's time to get them out of office. I mean, these crimes are going on right now, and they're not doing anything about it. Okay? So, we're going to step on here because a lot of people have been submitting complaints to the FBI. The FBI is the federal police to protect federal issues, federal constitution, civil rights, domestic terrorism. So if you give the FBI all the information I just gave you, and they don't investigate this, they neglect you, who's at fault? Who's going to investigate this? Is it going to be your local law enforcement department? Is it going to be your local city mayor, your local congressman, your local senators? They might do something. They might refer to, the FBI. They might refer to a special agency. It's going to be up to them. But if they don't do their job, then something is going on. Got to itch my nose. So it's funny how we got all this information and then the FBI is neglecting to investigate this. We know what's happening. That's just very strange that this is going on. I want to talk about another thing here. Oh yeah, a big breakthrough here. If you look up Dr. Michael Hoffer, okay, look up Dr. Michael Hoffer on YouTube. Dr. Michael Hoffer, if you remember, treated the U.S. diplomats, okay, and he treated the U.S. diplomats over in Cuba. And on December 12th, 2018, the NBC News put out on YouTube, it was titled, "Doctors Who First Saw U.S. Diplomats Hurt in Cuba Say Symptoms Cannot Be Faked." The people in Cuba, the Americans in Cuba, were tortured by exotic space weapons, folks. Okay? You can't make that up. Now, if you go into Dr. Michael Hoffer's website, he is seeing patients. He is seeing patients as of last year, October 10th. He saw his first patient on October 10th, 2019 of last year. And I know that because I made an appointment with him to see him in December. And I asked him, I said, before I fly down to Miami, Dr. Michael Hoffer, before I fly down to Miami, so you can see me, I want to make sure that you are treating targeted individuals. Targeted individuals. So I contacted the University of Miami Health Systems, UH, and spoke to Michael Ellis Hoffer, MD, Neurology. He's over at 1120 Northwest 14th Street, the 5th floor, Miami, Florida 33136. Called his office, set an appointment. Got the appointment. I emailed him. I said, Dr. Michael Hoffer, are you sure you're treating targeted individuals, people who are being tortured by exotic weapons, space weapons? And he said, yes, I assure you that I am. So, for all you targeted individuals who are being targeted and have the money to go see Dr. Michael Hoffer, go and swamp his office. See him. Let him diagnose you. See what he tells you. And then report it. Because the FBI versus Dr. Michael Hoffer, CIA, NSA, and NASA just doesn't make any sense. You have all these people over here, and you have the FBI saying, no, you guys are fucking insane. You guys are crazy. We're not being tortured. But then you have the CIA, Dr. Robert Duncan, Carrie Milton Stewart, Kirk Wiebe, William Biney, and Dr. Michael Hoffer saying, yeah, you are targeted. Come see me. Come see me. So it doesn't make any sense. You have the FBI and you have all these other people over here saying, yeah. But the FBI are covering up a conspiracy. And that's because they're having too much fun attacking Americans. They're turncoating Americans. You know, it's an act of war that they're using these weapons against Americans to torture and kill us during a pandemic. So, you see, the game is obvious. You have a pandemic that they blew out 5 months ago. This pandemic is called coronavirus. It's called COVID-19. Okay? And you have these people using these weapons to create these symptoms of COVID. And in your mind, you're saying, oh shit, I got a sore throat. I got a cough. I got an allergy. You know, and it's not the case. You go see the doctor. They get the fucking swab, stick it up your nose. It's a virus. Now you have the virus. You go back home. You got more symptoms. It may even kill you. See what I mean? All this fucking COVID-19 stuff, AK-19 stuff, they got fucking tents on the side of the road. They got tents behind restaurants. They got tents behind COVID-19 test site. For all you people out there who have electronic devices, computer devices, that you like to put in your back pocket, you walk into that COVID testing site, okay? You get that swab in your nose, you leave the testing site. That satellite is watching those people leave that camping site, and they're following them all the way back home. And when they get back home, they attack you, and they make it worse on you. That's why they're not opening all the restaurants. That's why they're not opening all the food chains, because they're going to get people fucking sick. You come in, you call in your order, they get you when you go to the restaurant, they make you sick, and then you go home, you're fucked. COVID-19 is a hoax, it's fraud, it's a Ponzi scheme, and it should be shut down. Who's liable for all that? That's another thing for you to answer on your own. We all know that. The point is that the FBI is not doing their job. Okay? We know that for a fact. So all the information I've given you is just hard facts, you know. The congressmen, the coalitions, the federal whistleblowers, Dr. Michael Hoffer, this is all concrete evidence, folks. I didn't make this shit up. This shit is on the web. It's true facts. Look it up yourself. It's hard facts. For 25 years, I've gathered all this information, folks, and it finally came down that we are being targeted. And so two things are happening. The FBI says, hey, you're fucking insane. Go see a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist sees a dollar sign on your skull. They go and they fuck you up and say, yeah, man, you're fucked up. We're not being tortured. So you get some fucking no-dose or some fucking psychological medication that's got side effects and it's fucking you up even more. But then you have Dr. Michael Hoffer say, whoa. I'm seeing, they are being targeted. So now they wrongfully diagnose you. Dr. Michael Hoffer's got a different diagnosis, different symptoms, and different treatment, while the psychiatrists are fucking you up, taking your insurance money, and making you pay high premiums next year. It's a Ponzi scheme, folks. You have psychiatrists, you have Dr. Michael Hoffer. Who's right? You know, what the fuck is going on? You have a doctor saying, well, wait, yeah. Then you have psychiatrists saying, no, come over here, you're fucked up. It's fraud, folks. Fraud. Okay? Uh, some of you have been targeted and you've gone to, you lost your jobs because of it. You lost your family. You lost a marriage because they don't believe you that you're being targeted. Your family's like, oh, you're fucking crazy. We're not being targeted. So this is going to help you understand what's going on. We are being targeted, and I've given you the facts. You have to go look for those facts yourself and report that to your family. Gather with your family. Get a circle around with your family. Open up the computer. Have them research it. If you feel you're being targeted and you can't tell your family, open up the computer. Research the stuff I just gave you. Let them see for themselves. The point is I'm trying to say, folks, is that don't feel locked out. Okay? There is hope. Michael Hoffer, the Dr. Michael Hoffer, is the light at the end of the tunnel. Now we need an organization, a committee of some badass undercover motherfuckers who can go into the CIA, who can go into the NSA and go into the FBI and start kicking ass and taking some names and watching this all happen and go back to the committee and then have them front and center and say, hey, what's going on? People are being tortured. You have Dr. Michael Hoffer. You have the FBI. What the hell's going on? You see what I mean? And it's going to happen. The Church Committee happened back in 1970. Frank Church, the Senator Frank Church, in 1970 established a committee to go into the FBI, the CIA, NSA undercover and find out that they were illegally spying and tracking Americans. Bottom line. Okay? So, I'm just giving you the facts. You have to go and research that for yourself, folks. I can't give you any more. I can't tell you any more. It's just hard facts. For 25 years, I've been researching this. Okay? I know that. But people, you have to understand, there is no defense to being targeted and tortured. You cannot defend yourself. You cannot go to your backyard, open up a big old fucking rocket, launch it up to space, and then attack these guys. You can't go to the gun store and buy a satellite. You can't go to the hunting supplies and buy a satellite. You can't buy a satellite to shoot back at these guys. So what do you have? You have fighting words. That's all you have. When the Constitution guarantees you the right to defend yourself. How are you going to defend yourself from a goddamn satellite? So, what I did is I submitted information to the FBI back when Eric Holder was in office, the Department of Justice. I said, Mr. Holder, I sent him a letter. It's in my book. It's in this book right here. Read the book. I sent him a letter. I said, Eric Holder, I said, I'm being targeted, tracked, and tortured. What are you going to do about it? He didn't respond. Later on, Mr. Eric Holder was fired for whatever reason. I don't know. So there's a lot of things that transpired through the Obama era and through everything else that, and what's funny is that President Barack Obama knew well. He knew well. And I'm going to give you a piece of information because President Barack Obama established the Presidential Bioethics Committee. Presidential Bioethics Committee. Okay? And the Presidential Bioethics Commission was created for just effects, for just hearing complaints and issues that revolve around Americans. Okay? So when President Barack Obama opened the doors to this, who did he hire? He hired Dr. Amy Gutmann. Who is Dr. Amy Gutmann? Dr. Amy Gutmann is I believe a PhD doctor from, we're going to find out in just a minute. Anyway, let me give you the site to this presidential committee mission here, because we're going to figure. So it's titled Presidential Commission for the Study of Bioethical Issues. Obama, he opened up a case. He said, okay, I want the people to come to me. And they did. And he hired Dr. Amy Gutmann. Okay? Dr. Amy Gutmann. Dr. Amy Gutmann is the doctor of, well, she's got a PhD, but she is she's got a PhD. Let me see if I can find out where she's at. I'm looking on the web here, guys. Amy Gutmann is at Penn State University, Penn Arts and Science Political Science Department. She runs that department. Okay? up at the University of Pennsylvania School of Arts and Science. She's got a doctorate, and she's very educated. But Obama hired her to take the complaints. And if you look at YouTube, go into YouTube and type in Dr. John Hall, Presidential Bioethics Committee. Listen to Dr. John Hall's speech. Dr. John Hall was right here from San Antonio, from where I was from. He is an anesthesiologist. He wrote a book, A New Breed of Satellite Terrorists in America. He wrote the book Guinea Pig. He's on Facebook. You know, he testified in front of Obama. But when Obama got the evidence, Obama did one thing that was wrong. You had Dennis Kucinich try to pass a bill in 2001. President Barack Obama gathered the information from Amy Gutman. Dr. Amy Gutman gathered the information and didn't do anything about it. He hid the evidence, right? When he should have written policy to protect the American people, he didn't do that. What did he do? Hid the evidence, you know, and didn't even fucking relate it to President Trump to follow up on it. He said, fuck that. You know what, Secret Service? Give me a lifetime of private security for the rest of my life, because I don't know what's going to happen. That's exactly what he did. He pawned it off to President Trump, or didn't pawn it off to President. He failed to inform President Trump. Okay, so think about that when you look at that, when you investigate that. What happened to the evidence of that? What happened to all the evidence? Dr. John Hall, Lisa Becker, who all testified in front of Dr. Amy Gutman and President Barack Obama. That's just hard facts. Okay, so all this has gone by. You know, all the evidence has been submitted to the FBI. You know, and I'm over here fighting with the Department of Justice and the FBI, calling, hey, man, can you stop the torturing? No, man, no, you're fucking crazy. Hey, man, stop the fucking torturing, man. No, fuck you. Hey, fuck you too. So it came down to a confrontation. And finally, what did they do? They go and they file charges against me with the county. I don't know why they went to the county for. You know, it was the wrong place to file charges in a county. Why would you file criminal charges in the county for harassment? So you filed charges in a county for harassment, which I wanted them to do because I can't defend myself from a goddamn satellite. Come to court. Let us talk about it while you're not doing your job. So what do? I get thrown in jail, spend some time in jail. They falsely imprisoned me, by the way, because, you know, they have me implanted, tracked, and tortured. Remember, we still have this case in the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay? We're trying to find out what kind of status do I have. Do I have a diplomatic immunity? Do I have sovereign immunity? You know, what kind of status do I have, Mr. FBI agent? So the FBI throws me in jail, right? Violating my diplomatic immunity laws, violating the sovereign immunity laws. They throw me in jail, sit in jail, waiting for the hearing, waiting to show all this evidence into the judge. And what happens? The judge sends a psychiatrist to psychologically evaluate me. I give them all the evidence. And what happens? The case is dismissed. Boom, bottom line. Okay, so you see, Americans don't have weapons to defend ourselves against satellite weapons. All we have is fighting words, folks. That's all we have. We're trying to get these people to come to court to testify, but they won't do it. I want you to pay attention to you want to see something that's frustrating? Because I'm very disgusted at our judicial system, because when you're a federal judge, and I tried to stop all this a long time ago. In 2001, I filed a lawsuit back in the U.S. District Courts in San Antonio to try to stop all this, to get it investigated, and the judge there threw it out. He got promoted, went to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Then they knew I was coming with all the evidence, and they moved him to Argentina. That's fine. If you look at Hale, I'm going to give you a case to look up. It's Hale, Hale, versus the FCC. Okay? Look at Hale, Hale, versus the Federal Communications. Look at that case, Hale versus the Federal Communications Commission. Look at that case. Look at that lady right there. What is she complaining about? Okay? And the judge calls it frivolous, delusional, meaning that she's insane. The same thing I've been complaining about, folks. You know, this lady is, let me read on here. Let me read this case. Let me read a little bit. It says here, the court concludes that this, it's here, hold on. It says, let me read what she says here. It says, in this case, it appears that the plaintiff has incorrectly named as a defendant a scatter frequency allocation investigation report. Upon examination of the plaintiff's complaint, the court has determined that the subject name does not refer to a suitable entity. It says here that she was being attacked by, let's see here. What is her complaint? You're going to have to read the case, man. It's a pretty good case. All this is good information you have to investigate, man. I've done it myself. You have to do that. It says here she was attacked, or her complaint was that it says the complaint is lengthy and difficult to decipher. Plaintiff appears to allege that she has been a victim of electronic harassment in the form of satellite frequencies being received by emitted from her body. Okay? So another agency that's responsible, the FCC. What do they patrol? Radio frequencies. If you're being attacked with frequencies, I can see why she filed a lawsuit against the FCC. Okay? But I would have threw the FBI under the bus too as well. So read that case. It's pretty good. It's the same thing that's happening. I don't know where she's from, man. In this case, I think it's over in, where is this? This is over in Oklahoma. Okay, so I'm in Texas, she's in Oklahoma. Same thing. Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you is that, look, man, you have the FBI saying no, you're fucking insane, and you have Dr. Michael Hoffer saying yes, we are being targeted. Then you have a judge, in this case, saying that people are fucking insane and frivolous. They're throwing court cases out of federal courts. What the fuck, man? Come on. You got people saying that this is what's happening. You got the fucking federal judge says they're siding with the FBI, saying no, people are insane, man. And then what happens with that lady right there? She says, oh, well, fuck, I must be insane. So what does she do? What does she do? She loses her job. Maybe loses her home, her husband, and relatives because they don't believe her. She goes and collects Social Security or benefits, being that she's mentally insane because the judge had declared her frivolous and delusional. So based on that, she gets compensated by the government, and it's fraud. A judge has committed fraud by saying, no, you are delusional, you're insane, What the hell, When you got Dr. Michael Hoffer saying, wait a minute, we are being targeted. And you got the FBI saying, wait a minute. But you got the CIA and the NSA and the NASA saying, well, yeah, they are being targeted. What the hell is going on, people? Who's going to investigate this shit? I mean, come on, man. It's the facts are right there. I'm just giving you hard facts. It's up to you to investigate that, okay? I just hope to God that the Supreme Court takes this case right here. And they take the evidence. Okay? And they sit down and they write policy. And they seek law and order. And they question every goddamn swinging dick in that fucking federal courthouse or in the Senate, in the congressional committees to find out if this case is fucking legit. Because if they don't do anything about it, folks, I guarantee you, your civil rights will continue to be violated. You'll continue to be spied on, illegally eavesdropping, wiretap, and nothing's going to happen to the feds. I mean, come on, there's got to be some justice somewhere, folks. I mean, who's investigating this? I mean, it just doesn't make sense, folks. It doesn't make sense at all, And all we're seeking is law and order. We're just seeking law and order strictly, man. We want laws to be written that should have been written back when Obama was in office, when Congressman Kucinich was in office, when George Bush was in office. They should have written laws and policies, and they didn't. They ignored it. They pawned it off. George W. pawned it off to Obama. Obama pawned it off to Trump, and now we're waiting to see what Trump's going to do, what the Supreme Court's going to do. That's all we can do. It's scary. You can't defend yourself from this, and it's hard that as American citizens, we can't defend ourselves and find out who the hell is doing this. And the FBI won't show up to court. They won't answer lawsuits. Judges here are blocking lawsuits. I mean, it's a scam, folks. I mean, they're using these weapons right now because we have a COVID-19. Okay, look at www.targetedjustice.com. Look at www.targetedjustice.com. Go in there and see all the doctors who have testified that we are being attacked by microwave energy while a pandemic's going on, which is treason and torture. And the NIH is involved. But nobody's going to jail. And I feel sorry for Trump. You have the FBI who tried to kill Donald Trump, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, who tried to kill Donald Trump. You have, this pandemic going on, and you have Joe Biden in the Ukraine. I mean, they're really fucking up Donald Trump for no reason. He's a damn good president. He's done a lot for the veterans, I must say. He promoted that general. What was it? What was that black African American general? He was a victim of a government experiment. They injected him with syphilis, an STD. for no fucking apparent reason. So Donald Trump had the courage to promote him to general. He deserved it very well. So did the Agent Orange, the Vietnam vets, who were also experimented on with the chemicals. They sprayed the hell out of those guys and caused mental retardation and all kinds of junk, man. Dow Chemicals went under for that. So did Diamond Shamrock. They all went under the bus with that, you know. So, I mean, they have to stop this at some point in time, folks, you know. When they're going to do it, I don't know. But it needs to stop. I mean, bottom line. And, you know, I'm going to end by this because, you know, I'm religious. I was used to be heavily involved in Christ and in the church itself. But, you know, I could never go back. You know, I don't want to go back to seek my friends because they don't deserve to be punished. They don't deserve to be punished by the government because I know somebody. And I would never go back and find my friends ever. Bottom line. And I'm going to end with this, okay? Because I'm a big firm believer in Jesus Christ. And he will present it. Because nobody should do God's job but God, okay? And if you look in the Bible, look at Isaiah 55:8. 55:8. And God said, He says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Think about that. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. So basically what he's saying is that, look, I don't want the government to know what the hell I'm doing, and I don't want to know what the government's doing. So why in the hell would you want to implant and track Americans and torture them and kill them, you know, by tracking them with their devices and stuff and understanding what they're doing and what they're thinking? He never wanted us to be that. And that's why there is confrontation. Because God does not want that to happen. So there's going to be confrontation because it's against the laws. It's against the canon laws. It's against the Bible. You're going against Jesus Christ. That's why you have conflict. It's a crime. Okay. And he goes on and he says, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And that makes sense. Because there are some people that are even smarter than the FBI, smarter than the CIA, and smarter than the Department of Justice. Okay? And it takes those people, the dog watchers, to go and catch these guys from doing these things. And that's what's happening. And it happened in 1970 with Senator Frank Church. And it relates to the Bible. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Think about that. Okay? That's coming from the Bible. That's coming from Jesus Christ, Lord our Savior. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Bottom line. And I leave it like that because he's saying that we don't want it. He doesn't want you to know what the hell I'm thinking, what I'm doing. You know, why would you do that? And if you do that, there are going to be consequences. And that's what we're facing now. We are facing turmoil. We are facing retaliation because our constitutional rights have been violated. Okay? And that's what I have to say. I'm going to end it like that. God bless. I hope you can use the evidence. It's fruitful. It's good information. Use it. Show your psychiatrist, show your doctors, show your congressmen, show the police. But it's hard facts. You can't get away from hard facts, folks. Thank you and God bless. Good night.